What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing out there this evening? So many of you guys chatting up. I turn on the screen and I just see it just kind of scrolling really fast, which is really cool to see. Thank you, mods, for always getting in there early and making sure everything is running smooth. I'm going to try to back this chat up, man. I'm going to probably get behind doing this, but I like to say hello to some of you folks out there. I like McBean. McBean was really early, man. And an impressive thing what you did on your latest video. That was like 460 pounds, man. That is awesome. What's up, Van City, Mama Bear, Joni Friels, Little Miss Prepper is in the house as well. We got Dottie, JT, KT. I like how that's rolled off the tongue, right? I'm trying to go as fast as I can in regards to scrolling past that conversation. Cindy, good to see you. Ragnar, good to see you as well. Let me see, who else do we have in chat this evening? This one, if any, Voodoo Queen, always good to see you. And great work what you're doing down there in the Discord. It's awesome. I've been keeping track of it. I'm so glad that we created that section for you on there in Discord, and anybody else who wants to share that type of information. I truly appreciate that. Little Alaskan Home Place. Jan is in the house. Scott, what is up? All right. Trying to scroll on. What's up, Milo? Good to see you, brother. Oh, man. Oh, Smiling Wolf as well. Good to see you as well. Trying to make sure I don't repeat myself. Barbara, hopefully I got you. If I do miss anybody, I always apologize because you never know. Stuart's Prepping is in the house as well because I'm just waiting for the chat to jump on me and then I'll get lost. Let's talk prepping. Stuart's Prepping. You see Joni Friels. I think I might have said it, but I want to make sure I got you, Joni. You're always in here and very supportive. Always appreciate that as well. And, man, you guys were chatting it up a bit, huh? Richard Moore. Doing well this evening. Hope you're doing as well. Doobie Farrar, good to see you as well. Frank Short, Dale. All right. I'm almost down at the bottom. Ark Wildman Survival. What's up, brother? Babasia, Monty, Pony Girl, Big Dogs in the house. Wofford Homestead, Miss Terry. Stay Survive, Joe G. Let me see. I think, Daniel, God is my judge. Who are you people? That's funny. Oh, man. And Jenny Nunya. Good to see you as well. All right. Amish Country Prepper, Our Tent Life, Colleen Rich. Let me see. Did I miss anybody? Chris Marie. I probably missed somebody. I know I did. I know I got Yarn Jan and Harvey Black and all you folks in there. Jennifer Cruz, Joyce. Hopefully I got everybody. Mark, Swafford. All right. Stephen, I should say, right? Stay Survived. I think I got everybody there. All right. What's going on? Time has begun. Panda Bear. All right, so all in all, let's get the show on the road, right? Enough wasting some time. Empress, there you go. I see you popping in there, Empress, Voodoo Queen, and everybody else. All right, I see you, Empress Kimberly. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And if you haven't had a chance to hit that thumbs up button, truly appreciate that. It's always a nice thing to do. I'm pretty sure some folks don't want to hit that button, but if you do, it's always welcome. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about being prepared and the reason I want to go with this topic is because of what we're seeing going on in mainstream media and a lot of other places. And it's better to be prepared than surprised. I'm telling you, folks. Right on. And speaking of, okay, so Our Tent Life, aka Airborne Prepper, you brought this up today on your video. And it's funny because I did the same thing. So Airborne or Our Tent Life, I don't know if you guys have seen these floating around. These are the Charlie Victor test that Corn Pop's going to send you if you fill out the form. And I was very curious, but as Airborne showed right here, let me see if I can get that on the screen. What does that say right there? Yeah, look at that. Made in good old China. Anyways, the reason I got this is I wanted to send it to a friend of mine who does lab work. And I wanted him to analyze this test and just to see if there's any residuals on there, if there's any other issues with this test, because these are being given to Americans for free per whatever the current administration is sending out. So I decided to order some under an assumed name, which I guess it still worked. And they sent them, and I'm going to go ahead and get these tested from a friend of mine who, like I said, works in a lab. That one is $8 on the shelf. Really Life with Bobby. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, Marcia, that's what I'm planning on doing is getting them tested. I have a friend of mine, like I said, he was excited that I was ordering these so he can test them and run a battery of test on them. And I'll let you guys know. What's up, Rena? And exactly, Barbara, nothing is for free. One update on the channel. Come this Monday. I'm upgrading all my internet provider so that we can have mega speeds. I'm tired of waiting for YouTube to upload my stuff. Doing it just takes forever with this internet provider that I have. So we're upgrading everything to, I call it warp speed because it's like 2 gigs per second. I was going to go with the 5 gigs per second, but I can't see what I would ever need that for. But 2 gigs per second will increase my internet speeds probably by 10-fold, or maybe more. I think maybe it's 100-fold. I don't know. It's going to be ridiculous. Yarn, yours was different. Interesting. That is very interesting. I want one to swab my dog's nose with it and send it. Yeah, Joni, why not? Right? That's what I say. Oki Khan, made in China like the virus. I agree, Oki. I agree. Marcia, thank you so much for that super chat. I truly appreciate the additional support on the channel. What's up, Dragon? Good to see you, my friend. There's a couple of things that popped off before we get into chat or into our discussion. Some of you folks may know this already, but Right Side Broadcasting Network was detained in Canada. I feel like a reporter because I have a piece of paper in my hand. But anyways, they were detained in Canada. One of the folks, one of their what do they call it? Newscasters. He's not victored and he didn't have a test. So come to find out that they held him in I guess what they call an immigration section right there at the border of Detroit and Canada. And they searched his car. They did a bunch of crazy stuff like that. And it had to do with the pillows that Mike Lindell was trying to, I guess, ship over there or whatnot, from my understanding. So that turned into a crap show. But they were detained. RSBN, Right Side Broadcasting News, was detained at the border. And then I thought another thing was kind of weird. I don't know if you guys were watching mainstream news in regards to Corn Pop's speech in regards to the Ukraine and Russia thing. And ironically, it says all the TV networks lost power on the North Lawn during Corn Pop's remarks on Ukraine. I was like, that's awfully weird, eh? But who knows? And then a good friend of mine who's in the military down in Fort Hood, Texas, sent me an email. And I can't say his name, unfortunately, but he said they're practicing grid down drills. They are practicing, the Army and his platoon are practicing grid down drills. Now, maybe that's something commonplace that they do all the time, but he said he hasn't ever done it. And he wanted to share that with me because it was odd for them to be doing what they're doing, at least from his perspective. So I wanted to share those couple of things that got brought up right before I started the show and some emails and stuff like that. All right. Just want to make sure. What's up, Minuteman? Good to see you. Peace Train of America. Awesome. I am doing well. Hope everybody else is doing as well. Update on Prepping Preacher. Tim the Prepping Preacher. His last update was 2 days ago. If you guys haven't looked at his community tab, they're doing some sort of dialysis to help his body do some things. And that's the last update I've gotten. He has not responded via his phone, which I'm assuming he can't. So just keep your prayers out there for Tim the Prepping Preacher. He's still in the hospital, and that's the last update I got on Tim as well. What's up, Angie? Good to see you. Potato Head. Also, so anyways, here's one thing I thought was weird. I don't know if you guys have heard of a news agency called Reuters. I'm pretty sure everybody refers to Reuters. It's a news organization. I thought this was fun. What's up, Sunset Mennonite? Good to see you as well. Beth, hi, Phil. Good to see you. I'm assuming that you're related to Mary. Thank you, Oki Khan. What do you think about how quickly they're freezing bank accounts? Yeah, Empress Kimberly, it's insane to say the least. I've been trying to understand why, and they're using all these weird laws or emergency acts and whatnot. They're using a bunch of things to freeze these accounts. And then I wonder if the people that put money in these accounts, are they going to get their money back? Are they using this money for other purposes? I think it's a really big crap show what's going on in Canada. And there's a lot of folks that are streaming stuff, dropping information, people, even citizens. Like I said, I met someone from Canada that moved just down recently, and he said it's been a nightmare for over the last 2 years. And now it's just, it's increased. But there's some really good people fighting the fight in Canada, and we should pray for those folks as well. And the fact that they are on the front lines of freedom, to be honest with you, it's whatever may happen in Canada. Some people say, well, it doesn't affect the U.S. I say, I call that no way. And the reason I say that is because everything that happens somewhere else can always affect another country, being that it sets precedents on moving forward as other countries look at what these countries are doing, as we saw all through the last couple of years. What's up, Dottie? Good to see you. All right. Oh, and speaking of which, Dragon when I saw Dragon's comment go by there, don't forget this Thursday at 10:30 p.m., we'll be having a special guest. McBean Scottish Fitness will be joining me on the Late Show with Grey. And it'll be the Late Show with McBean. So look forward to that, folks. You just won't hear me rambling on for an hour, right? Anyways, back to the Reuters story. I want to share something with you because, all right, so the news, all right, there's conflicting stories, right? Everybody's saying that Russia is backing down, and then Corn Pop is saying, no, they're not. Some people don't really have a clue. Here's what I ask you, the viewers, is just stay prepared. Because even if they do, let's say even if Russia pulls every single one of their troops out of those areas and stuff like that and recedes and goes back to their own country or whatever they decide to do, it doesn't mean that we as preppers or people in the preparedness community should ever let our guard down, because there's always something else to be prepared for. That's huge, and this is why we prep. But let me show you guys something real quick. And tell me if this is a little weird. Let me see. Hold on. Daily Prepper, think about the interest of GoFundMe earn on the money. Yes, exactly, Daily Prepper. And that's what makes me think there's just like this big money monopolizing situation that these folks are using to steal money from people. I would have never used GoFundMe. I understand people. That's like how people think, oh, I want to make videos, so I'm going to start on YouTube instead of thinking I should do it on BitChute or Rumble or something like that, because GoFundMe is like this go-to. But if anybody's paid attention to their practices in the past, they do not support the conservative viewpoint per se, right? But anyways, I want to show you guys something, and there's several things I want to show you. And I don't know, I'm not going to leave this up long because I don't know if you can share another YouTube channel. It's a news channel, but so the Reuters, all of a sudden about 7 hours ago, started a live stream in Kiev's Maidan Square, which I thought was weird. Why did they start why did a news company start a live stream on a on a country that, if the Russians are backing down, why did they have their live stream? And they just started this live stream today, but I'm going to show it to you. This is it here. This is their live stream. I can't really keep it on too long, but they started a live stream, like I said, about 7 hours ago. So I thought that was odd, to say the least. Very weird. It's like they're getting ready for something, but this is just me being speculative and like thinking, why would a news agency, a large news organization, start a live stream right in Kiev? Well, almost drank a string of my tea. So also I noticed, have you heard of in our embassy, they're destroying all these records and computers and phones and all that stuff like that. And someone made a good comment. They said, how can I say this cryptically? But the person that Corn Pop's son, basically, they're saying that they're trying to cover his tracks by destroying all this equipment in the U.S. embassy. I said, possibly. I don't know what they're really doing, but Harvey Black say fair use tube, fair act. Yes, and I do have that in my description, Harvey, in regards to the fair use. And Mennonite agreed. Don't you think that's weird that a Reuters is live streaming from Kiev and saying Russia, Ukraine crisis? I just thought that was a little odd. So don't be fooled by what you see floating around the news. Don't ever let your guard down, folks. Please stay prepared. And I'm going to show you some stuff. Another reason and I know some people are saying, hey, Grey, we feel that there's a false flag coming forward. Also, the Russians basically said, hey, they're initiating heavily in cyber attacks again, mostly towards the Ukraine, but it's also the U.S. has been warned in regards to cyber attacks towards us as well. And as we've seen in the past, they don't play. They've disrupted pipelines. They've disrupted companies. A lot of things can happen. As a matter of fact, I think Survival Living did a video on it not too long ago, talking about they may try to push forward on messing with our grid. So you never know. It's something to keep an eye out, right? And poke my eye out. What's up, Rip Curl? It's all smoke and mirrors. Exactly, Empress Kimberly. And I hope, what's up, Farmer Son? Willow of Moonhaven as well. I saw that name pop up there as well. So that's what I really want to tell you folks, no matter what happens. Here, let's use this for an example. Let's say there's no more Charlie Victor. The economy starts to get fixed. Russia backs down. China leaves the U.S. alone. Everything gets back to normal, right? If you want to call it normal, I would please implore you folks that just because it gives you a sense of like a complacency kind of situation, that people will start to get more complacent and start to back off preparedness in their preps. And I think that's the worst thing that you can possibly do. Smiling Wolf, and I agree that could be a great possibility. And wouldn't that work the best? I mean, if you cripple a country, right? And the best way to cripple a country is remove its power, because without power, pretty much people are going to basically turn on themselves. And I know you guys know this, right? That if we ever lost power for long periods of time, within a few weeks, things will start getting, if possibly within a few days, but I say within a few weeks, when people realize that the power is not going to be coming back on, and it goes into a month or so, after 30 days, utter chaos. Cities will burn. People will start turning on each other. The crisis, food, it'll be a nightmare, to be honest with you. So I pray that something like that never does happen, but it's something that we as people in the preparedness community need to be prepared for at all costs. What's up, Izariza? Good to see you. Duke, what is up? Yeah, nothing is getting back to normal. Exactly, Duke. And that's why I was thinking about it today. I was like, man, I want to talk about preparedness, because I hope people don't see certain things and think, okay, well, that's starting to get resolved. Maybe I don't need to get this additional food. Maybe I don't need to get these medical preps. Maybe I don't need to buy that book or something like that. I hope people don't think that and don't, what's a good word? I'm trying to think of it. Just don't get complacent in the fact that just because the news may say something doesn't mean things are ever probably going to get better. Because then we can fall back to the economy, because that's still my main concern is the economy in itself. What's up, Cherokee? Good to see you. Yes, exactly, Barbara. You're exactly right. The calm before the storm. Good point, Mike. So let's jump into it. I want to show you guys a couple of things, and I picked Yahoo Finance because who goes to Yahoo Finance and gets news? Well, I like to look around at different things and seeing what mainstream says. So I want to share a couple things with you folks out there that are watching this live stream tonight. A couple things from Yahoo Finance, and I know they're not really a conservative media, but it's ironic whenever you see mainstream media or any organization putting out certain material, it makes you like think that, hey, if they're talking about it, things must be getting really bad. What's up, Mojo Man? Yeah, good to see you as well. Good to see you. Well, there's no such thing as normal. Everything is always changing. Exactly, Minute Man. What's up, Cellar Door? Good to see you as well. So let me bring this up. And this is just as of lately. I wonder if I can, let me see if I'm going to try something, see if I can make it easier, because I hate when I'm so tiny. And I'll show you what I mean, because on the screen, I probably look small. I wonder if there's a way I can make it. No, I don't like that either. What about this? All right, maybe I can do it this way. I just want to take up more of the screen. I guess I'm just crazy. All right. So this was dated Tuesday, February 15th, which guess what? It's today. It says supply chain woes ease. Supply chain woes ease. And so people will see that this headline and be like, oh, supply chain is going to get better. But then you read the article and you realize not so much. Now, I'm not going to read this in its entirety, but they're talking about basically how demand is high and stuff like that. But what I took away from this article after reading through it is I'm trying to find out where I'm looking for. There's a certain section in here, right here. So I'm going to highlight, no, not up there, buddy. I'm going to highlight this right here. It says, to be certain, supply chain shortages continue to affect businesses of all size, like Starbucks. Who care? I don't really care about Starbucks, but my wife does, which is facing a shortage of disposable cups. Yet, according to the survey from invoicing software company Skynova, small businesses are feeling more pain when it comes to pricing shortages and delay. And then here's another part. It says, we just don't have the manpower to keep up with the fast prices or how fast prices are changing. I know all you guys are seeing price increases all across the board, some ridiculously high for specifically types of foods and just goods in general, right? Down here, this is a owner of I guess it's Sukasa Furniture out of Baltimore, Maryland, was making a comment about how just getting couches to sell is very complicated. They're missing parts. They're all flown in from, guess where? Right here. Where's that keyword? From China, right? Another thing, as you dig into this article, it says another concern is soaring inflation, which is what a lot of us have been talking about. Data on Tuesday showed wholesale prices skyrocketed by nearly 10% on an annualized basis in January, underscoring how price pressures remain a crippling obstacle for small businesses. And keyword is they keep on saying small businesses because that's what a lot of this hurts, is small mom and pop businesses, small companies. The big boys like Walmart and all the other giant conglomerates, they can take a good punch, right? But these small businesses can't. Anyways, it says, in fact, more than half of small business owners are passing along those rising costs to their customers at the highest pace since 1974, the year I was born. Things haven't been this bad since I was born in 1974. Maybe it's all my fault. I don't know. Anyways, it says, we just don't have the manpower to keep up with how fast prices are changing, Johnson told Yahoo Finance. It says some vendors are increasing prices every 2 weeks due to some Canadian suppliers unable to get a grasp on their steel costs, which in turn causes the finished good prices to go up. And other vendors have fluctuated their surcharges from 4% to 21%. Anyways, and this goes on a lot deeper into a lot of stuff. It says this goes into the container ships. They said they were the backup sitting at 77, 32 fewer than they were. But it says, if you guys remember, the Chinese just had their New Year. And everything shuts down in China during their Chinese New Year, and they say that could have been reason why the shipping container ships, man, that sounds like a tongue twister, could have slowed down, and it'll probably pick back up. Anyways, that's just some of that stuff there, and there's a lot of other issues in here in regards to inbound containers, and the list goes on. It's a very long read, but it's on Yahoo Finance. Another thing. I try to pay attention to everything because everything is like a big puzzle, or it's you have to put it all together yourself, because you might get this piece or that piece, but you got to put all the pieces together to kind of get a general consensus of what's actually happening in our country. And I thought this one was pretty interesting. It says billionaires are cashing out of stocks at record paces. The disturbing reason behind this move could soon accelerate the market's downturn. Tech stocks are already off to their worst start since 2008. Consider Tesla for an example. But anyways, it goes to, and it's funny how I was reading through this article. It says the wealthiest Americans have recently sold more than double the amount of stock as they did in 2020. The trend could soon worsen. And if you own any brand name stocks, there it goes. It says prepare now. Prepare now. Kind of like prepper now, right? Anyways, so the rich people are dumping stocks, right? Because they see something coming down the pipe. Then this hasn't stopped either. And we've discussed this as well. Now, sorry, I can't see chat at the moment while I'm talking about some of this stuff, so I do apologize. But it says this was dated February 15th again this morning. Chip shortages won't end in 2022. So it's not going to end in 2022. And people say, well, some people are going to say, well, who cares about chips? But chips are in every single thing that you can think of, from the toaster that you have on there to some car part, to some machinery, to some generators, to, communication devices. Check this out. I'll be honest with you folks. So I've been working with Reddibus. You guys see me when I did the review of this thing here. I did the review and they were very happy with the review that I did. So they want to send me some, they call it a ham radio to do a review on as well. And, they gave me some options. I chose those options and they apologized to me and sent me an email saying, hey, GreyMan, I'm sorry, we can't send you those radios due to the chip shortage. We only have one in stock. So you're telling me this major company, Reddibus, only has one radio in stock. Now, maybe it's one radio that they can, sacrifice to give to someone to do a review. But so they gave me a couple other options of some older radios, and I'm working that out with them. You know what I mean? But a major company having problems, and these people are out of China. Don't get me wrong, they're out of China because that's how they correspond with me. But the funny thing is that even them inside of China are having issues. So chip shortage. Now, this next article is specifically for the Alaska prepper. If he happens to watch this or come across this, or you guys care to share this with him, but he probably already knows. Avocado prices are going to spike in the U.S. Suspends avocado imports from Mexico. What are we going to do? Avocado prices are going to skyrocket. Now, I'm being a little facetious in this, but this is another food thing, right? Anyways, it goes into this whole thing about avocados and whatnot. And it just made me think of Rudy at the Alaska Prepper because he loves avocados, as do I. And I started reading this to try to figure out why. But check this out. Just this right here. It says prices hit record highs, 100% more expensive than they were a year ago. Avocados are now 100% more expensive than they were a year ago. That to me is insane. All right, moving on. I wanted to show you guys something about Russia. I didn't know this about Russia until today. We know that the Chinese have been that they've stockpiled 60% of the world's grain, right? And other stuff that they've been doing. But check this out. This is barons.com. And funny enough, it says bread, pasta, and packaged food prices are rising. Here's why. Come to find out, I'm going to scroll down here. Where's it at? It says wheat would be the food commodity most impacted, says Arlen Sunderman, chief commodities economist at StoneX. Russia, let me repeat that. Russia is the world's largest exporter of wheat, and Ukraine is also a major exporter. So combined, the two countries are responsible for 29% of the global wheat trade. 29%, Russia and Ukraine, for our wheat trade. That blew my mind. So you have China, you have Russia, and I'm thinking, well, where does America come into play in this? Where does America come into play in this? So the reason I'm showing you all this stuff is to show you that just because the news might say, well, things are starting to ease somewhere, or the Russian troops may be backing down or whatever they're going to do, is there's so much other stuff going on that please don't hit those brakes on being prepared. And you know, that old saying goes is stack it to the rafters. Last thing I want to cover before we get into just some chat here, and I can go back into discussing stuff with you folks and reading your chat, is bird flu. We've been hearing a lot about this lately. Bird flu. It was in Indiana. Well, guess what, folks? It has now been detected in Kentucky and Virginia. And I know a lot of you folks live out in these areas. My brother lives in Kentucky, and some of you folks live in Virginia. But it says the authorities with the U.S. Department of Agriculture said bird influenza has now been detected in flocks of birds in Kentucky and Virginia, just days after officials said thousands of birds were sickened with the flu in Indiana. Now, let me get rid of this here and stop sharing my screen so I can go back to chat and see what you guys are doing. There's a lot of different information when it comes to this whole bird flu thing. Some people feel it's a ploy. It's a ploy to try to get us off consuming meats like poultry and stuff like that. Just like we've seen, species to species infections from humans to deer and all that like that. We've seen a lot of things. We've also talked about the swine situation down south, and I think it's the Dominican Republic. They've gotten somewhat under control, but there's a lot of things affecting meat in general. And I saw something pop up on the screen. I'm pretty sure that the father said, no, I'm going to words. Yeah, I appreciate that, Harvey. Have not heard about it coming into Iowa yet. Kaylin, and yeah, let me know. You guys, there's a lot of you folks that will email me when you guys come across information. And that's what I love about the Discord, because I can kind of cruise to the Discord that we have. Yarn Prepper, your test kits are from Korea, huh? That is very interesting. What does it say? North Korea or South Korea? Yarn Prepper. Oh man, that is crazy. The evil machine wants to starve us to death. Agreed, Seabass, and welcome. Good to see you. Dragon, truly appreciate the super chat. Always appreciate the additional support from you folks that have the opportunity to do so. Says U.S. doesn't even make our own antibiotics. It all comes from China. And Dragon, what's ironic about that, Dragon brother, is that if the Chinese would never have to put boots on the ground. Literally, they would not. They could just cut off the supply chain, because most of our, like you said, our antibiotics, what's up, fat man? Most of our antibiotics come from them. Also, how much stuff in your house? Go walk. You ever walk around your house and just start turning over labels and products and seeing where they're made from? TVs, radios, just random stuff, clothes and socks and anything you can possibly think of. Majority of it comes from overseas, and a lot of it comes from China. So China would say, okay, we'll just shut it down. And people can say, well, China will never do that because it'll hurt them financially because of all their exports. Well, don't they export to every other country in the world outside of the U.S.? So I'm assuming it could hurt them. But if they really wanted to hurt the U.S., they could pretty much put a very big hurting on us. and wait till we are desperate, until people are fighting over bread, and then say, okay, well, let's do this, and now you're going to pay this much more. And what choice is the Americans going to have other than trying to say, let's become self-sufficient? To me, that's a huge thing. Why can't we be self-sufficient as a country? Like the previous administration was trying to assist us as we, the people, the Americans, becoming self-sufficient on our own country and not depending on other countries for stuff, specifically how we have to beg OPEC and other countries for oil. Why we have these ridiculous amounts of gas prices that have been skyrocketing. I just checked my last avocado in Mexico. Roger that, Dale. And you'll probably see, so the supply is going to dwindle of current avocados. And then you're going to see this massive price increase on the avocados themselves. Pray for Peace says, China doesn't need to lose money on our dollar. Agreed, Pray for Peace. Pray for Peace. Moron Prepper says, CB home tests come from China, the fox guarding the hen house. Yeah, right? It seems like everything comes from overseas. And that's what I'm trying to say. What's up, Rebecca? How you doing? What's up, Sunset? F-22s don't fly over solar panels. Really, Smiling Wolf? That's weird. I didn't know that. China is mining all the minerals needed for the batteries needed for all the electric cars and solar panels across the globe. And Andy Bach, you're right. Afghanistan is a huge lithium producer. Which can create the minerals for lithium-ion batteries, which can then, of course, translate into, the electronic cars, which is a huge thing they're trying to push. To me, have you guys ever looked at China's economy? I know some people say, well, there's a lot of people that starve in China. Yes, the poor people probably starve because there's millions and billions and millions of people in this country, but the core of their country are rich and wealthy, the powerful, the politicians, the leaders, the military, they're all being taken care of. That they're not going to slack off on. Thank you, Jennifer Cruz. I appreciate that. You see, super duper right. Whoops, what did I miss? I saw something, Yarn. I missed it, Yarn. People prep like your life depends on it. Yes, Yarn Prepper. Agreed. What's up, Bizza Rizza? Just good to see you, my friend, and thank you so much for the super chat. Because you're a good dude, and I enjoyed spending an hour with you last Tuesday, brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I had a great time with you as well, man. That was awesome. If you guys haven't seen me and Bizza on the last Tuesday's stream, you should check it out. It was a good time. Very good time. What's up, Michelle? Good to see you. Always good to see you. And Michelle, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that some people will come across this live stream, especially you, the viewers, my core subscribers, because I think that the hardcore subscribers of the Grey family, the Grey community, watch the live streams. Other people will come across this live stream down the road, and maybe they'll skip through it. Maybe they'll listen to some of it, but I want them to understand that if they're getting new into prepping, and they're saying, well, oh, things might be easing up, things are getting better. I want them to know it's not. And I don't want to be like, is he fear mongering? Is he trying to scare us? No, I just want people to not get complacent in the fact that just because if you see one thing over here start to get a little bit better, or the perception of a little bit better, I don't want you to stop doing what you're doing currently, because the more of us out there who are prepared, the more of us that have storages of food, the more of us that know how to garden, the more of us that know how to can, the more of us that know how to go hunting and fishing, simple things like that, the more of us that know the old ways, the better. If things ever go really south, let's say the grid does go down, how many people in this world do you think would survive, with a week or two? And don't get me wrong, there'd be more, but within a 30-day period, and they knew that the power wasn't coming back, how many folks would survive? And there's estimates out there that only a certain percentage, that the normal consensus is 70% of the population will end up dying off due to disease, due to starvation, and due to other humans harming other humans. Unfortunately, that's horrible to hear, but it's the truth. If you've seen other countries, when things happen in their countries, it's crazy. Even here in Florida, when a hurricane hums, like Hurricane Andrew, some of you guys may know of Hurricane Andrew. Is one of the most devastating hurricanes that ever hit Florida in the most recent times, in the last 50 years or so. And people were still turning on people. There's always that element of evil or criminality that will prey on people at the worst times, which is absolutely horrible. And this is why you got to go beyond just prepping. And I know some folks don't like the idea. There's some people out there that don't like the idea of having to take another human's life. I get that. But if things ever went really south, it's either you or them when it comes down to it. And there's some folks out there that I really, truly worry about that I'm friends with. And mostly they're very older folks, very kind, sweet people, too kind in a certain aspect because they're willing to help anybody. And sometimes that kindness in a survival situation could be their downfall. And if you notice even with some of these movies out there, some of the crazy movies, if you watch Walking Dead's back on, if anybody's watching Walking Dead, Walking Dead came back on Sunday. I was ecstatic. I was happy. But anytime you trust someone in an apocalyptic scenario or an event, things always go south. And it's weird how fiction can imitate reality. Duke man, yes. If you live in the city, it does suck. Duke, here's what I would suggest, and I don't know what your capabilities are, but anybody who lives in the city, right? And I know you got most of your preps in your home or somewhere close by. All I can do is make a plan with whoever's in your family, in your mutual assistant group, or whoever that you associate with that know that you guys share the same type of way of life and thought process, is that you have a plan to get out of the city if things start getting bad. Have some sort of route. Have route A, B, C, D, and E. Don't just have a couple of routes. Have multiple routes. Try to find the routes that less people would take. There's a lot of different things that you can do if you're in a city, and depending on the size of the city, like when you look at New York City, like New York City, inside New York City, it's weird because you're almost like you have bridges to get out of the city. And if anything happens on those bridges, it's like, then you're like stuck. And there's so many millions of people stacked on top of each other. I can only imagine the absolute chaos that would ensue, especially if things ever went really sideways. We are digging in at the homestead. And Smiling Wolf, and that's another thing people can do. And I hear because when I have my homestead, I mean, right now I don't even have a homestead. I'm in the suburbs, right? That's what I call this, the suburbs where I live now. And I'm doing the best I can with what I have. And that's what I suggest that you do as well, is, whatever piece of land or whatever, if you're on a quarter of an acre, which is a very tiny, which is in Florida, which is the average, 10,000, a little over 10,000 square foot of land, is to try to make it as best as you can. Try to grow as everything you possibly can, depending on the size of your family. And I was going somewhere with this. Is that, yes, if something happened tomorrow, I would have no choice but to hunker down here and do what I can. Now, I do have many, many exit strategies out of this place. But I make the exterior of my house look a little bland. I'm not one of those folks that like to keep everything perfect per se, right? Have all this beautiful landscaping and all that stuff like that, because I want to be kind of gray, per se, you know what I mean? To have that image that this is really not a good house to rob. I do have security measures and a lot of other things in place just because of who I am and what I've been doing and the time I've been doing it. But we do have several exit strategies because fallback locations per se, right? And which would suck because I do have a lot of stuff in this home. But what I've told a lot of you guys on many streams and videos in general is that if you have family, if you have people that you can trust, friends, family, other people in your, let's say, in your group or whatnot, that you can have preps stored other places, specifically food and water, and some medical stuff, because those are the top three. I know there's stuff about heating and there's stuff like that, but the top three for me is food, water, and medical preps, because that's a necessity, one of the core necessities of what's going on if things ever went sideways. That's awesome, Big Dog. And that's a really cool thing, Big Dog. I wish I have one neighbor that moved down from Tennessee that's to the left of me, and she introduced herself to me. She was new to the neighborhood. Other than that, I know one other person. Other than that, there's dozens of people on the street, and I have no clue who they are. Now, I do pay attention. Like 6 houses down from me, someone flies a Cuban flag and a "Don't Tread on Me" flag. Around the corner, there's another house that has I can't say it on the YouTube, but the Foxtrot Juliet Bravo flag up on their lawn, and they voted for number 45 kind of stuff. So I pay attention to what people have outside their houses to say, okay, well, this person may have a like mindset, and this person might have a like mindset, or we have something in common. And I can be a very friendly person. Some people say I'm a good talker. Some people say I don't, because I stumble on my words a lot. But being on camera and talking to a camera is still, it can be weird sometimes because there's no one else in this room but me, and I'm talking to you folks on the live stream, but I'm not physically talking to someone. So like someone gave me crap. That video that I did on the canned goods has still been trucking along. It's crazy how many views that video has gotten. I don't know what I did with that video, but it garnered enough attention. But someone said, hey man, it's first in, first out. You got it wrong. And I'm like, hey buddy, I said, I know. And I understand that I got it wrong, is I misspoke. And I do apologize that I misspoke, but hopefully you get the general idea. And if you read the comments, some people understood that I misspoke, because everything does, you know, when you're making a video, sometimes it doesn't culminate in your brain and be like, okay, and then the video's up and loaded to YouTube, and you can't just like take it down after it has 10,000 views on it and then redo the video. It just doesn't work that way. And I said, man, we are humans, bound to make mistakes, bound to trip off words, and stuff like that. Anyways, that was just a tangent that I went down for a few minutes. KT, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Dragon says, has you seen the movie the History Channel put out called After Armageddon? It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. I will check it out, Dragon. It does sound pretty interesting. Man, and I agreed. No one is perfect. I will never ever tell you, my viewers, you, the Grey family, that I know everything. No, I don't know everything. Far from it. And I'm not some sort of elite prepper. You know, I'm not a prepper god or whatever you want to call it. I've just chosen a point in my life to come on YouTube and share my experiences and the information that I find in research with you folks and some of the things that I know. Then from that point, I've learned a lot from you, the viewers, because we have a lot of knowledge here in this chat. You know, here in the chat, when I look at you and I see some of the things that you, my dog is perfect. You guys are awesome. Stop being human. Right? Exactly, Savage, right? I got to be more robotic. But the wealth of information in this, and that's why I'm so happy that I think, you know, I think it was Za that gave me that. A bunch of you guys, Za, I know Za, I haven't seen Za in a long time. I hope she's okay. But someone gave me the idea with the Discord, because a lot of folks share a lot of information in this Discord server, which is amazing. Some of the stuff I read in there, like Voodoo Queen, like, man, she is awesome, the information she shares. And then you guys get like situational reports. I call them sit reps. Like, hey, I'm in Denver. This is what's going on in Denver. I don't know if have you guys seen this? Or, hey, I'm in Minnesota, and I went to my Walmart the other day, and they were wiped out of this. Phenomenal information that shares with folks, because it lets me know that it's not just something that's happening here. What's up, Chris? Good to see you. Let me see. Whoops. I'm trying to fix that there. There you go, Michelle. Lights Go Out documentary, which stinks. Michelle Minton, After the Armageddon is definitely a good one. B2 took down When the Lights Go Out documentary, which stinks. I'll have to see if I can find that one too. I am perfectly crazy. Right on Minute Man. We're all a little crazy. You know what I mean? That's what makes us human. You know what I mean? That's how at least I feel about it. Anybody who feels that they're a perfect person, you know, they have their perfection, I would question them. If anybody ever comes on YouTube and says, I am the preparedness God, and if you don't listen to me, you're wrong, I would probably click off, because that would scare me. Because we're always learning, folks. We're always learning, not only from the books that we read, from each other, but we're always learning new stuff, or we're learning better ways to do something. And that's how humans do it. Over the course of time, over the course of history, that's how we've learned to do things in life. Is one person teaches another person, who then teaches 2 other people, that teaches, 20 other people, and so on and so forth. And that's how we spread the message. Just like how I like to spread the message of preparedness, and the fact that I would love for folks that if they ever experience an emergency disaster, hurricane, tornado, winter storm, economic collapse, or full-on SHTF, that they're as prepared as they possibly can be to give themselves a fighting chance to get through that situation, at least a fighting chance. Me personally, I want to live. I want to succeed. I want to thrive in any situation I'm thrown into. Yes, yarn prepper, exactly. And I can't, that's Rudy saying, I love that saying. Rudy coined that term. I want to bring that up. Reach one, teach one, and repeat. And that is such a phenomenal saying. It's root. That is such a great saying. Love it. And that's exactly how we have to look at it. You know what I mean? I learned at School of Hard Knocks, and I have the dents in my skull to prove it. Right on, Minute Man. You are the new Paul Revere. I appreciate that, Smiling Wolf, but I could never take that kind of credit. I think I'm putting shorter dates on things so people toss more. Rena, I did see that. Someone talked about that. Someone made it a big thing about, I don't know if it was a video or an article that I read, or maybe it was in Discord for all I know. Maybe it might have been you, Rena. I don't know. I know someone had said something about the best buy dates on cans are changing and they're becoming shorter and shorter. But I've done many canned videos, and I'm probably going to do more because people seem to like those videos. And it brings a lot of people to the channel. But the best buy date is just crap. You know what I mean? We all know about canned goods, especially a lot of us who've been prepping for quite some time know the scam behind the best buy dates on canned goods. Now, I'm not telling everybody to go out there and find something that's 20 years old and eat it. No, please don't. I'm just saying there's a process. And like I said, they've had plenty of data out there that shows that canned goods are they're hermetically sealed, and they last way beyond. Thank you, Anne from MA, for joining us on the Discord. That canned goods go way beyond their best buy date, and there's simple ways to touch things. Someone left me a comment saying, you know, hey man, I've ate plenty of dented cans and didn't die from it. And I'm like, okay, well, great. From my perspective, dented cans, that degrades the structure of the can and has more of a probability of something going south with it. Maybe they don't comprehend that, but to each their own. If they choose to eat a lot of dented cans in the Armageddon or whatever, and they die, I guess that's their choice because they think it's okay. Someone else said, hey, you know, if you open up the cans and it has botulism in there, you're breathing botulism molecules up your nose, because I said, you know, sniff the food. I said, sniff the food. So they were like, oh, well, you know, you're sniffing botulism. I said, damned if I do, damned if I don't say something specific that someone else is going to disagree with. Now, from my perspective, it's that whole, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but is it agree to disagree? You know, I understand it. We can have a conversation. You have your ideas. I have my ideas. But all I am here is to share my information, what I think is right, and for you, the viewers, to decide if it is right, or if you want to further research what I'm talking about and make your own informed decision. Because I'm not perfect by far, and I will make mistakes. And I feel that everyone, even the best experts in their fields, make mistakes. I grew up on dented cans. Right on, Potato Head. Cans last by how they're stored. And yes, Rebecca Blogs, you're absolutely right. And everything comes down to how you store things. You know, temperature, location, you know, the humidity, everything plays a role into this, you know, into food storage. That's why it's such a great topic to discuss, because there's so many options, and depending on where you live, because food storage for me here in Florida, where the humidity is like 95% in summer, may differ for someone who is like in a different place where there's no humidity, or where the temperatures are freezing. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell folks, you just can't watch my channel. You have to watch multitude of channels, because depending on where you live, you take all the information that you've gathered or that you've listened to, and maybe you've taken notes, and find out what works best for you and your environment and your situation. If you're in an apartment, if you're in a high rise, if you're in a cabin, if you're in a tent, whatever situation that you may be in, you need to figure out what works best for you. Chris, it's hard to tell. We had the discussion earlier about the whole Russian situation. We won't know until it happens. That's how it always is. You know, all of a sudden you'll turn on the news and all of a sudden all hell is broken loose and Russia's attacking Ukraine, or nothing could happen at all. All we can do is digest the information that we see and make a great speculation of what we think may happen. But until things happen, we don't know. It's not like we can't predict. A hurricane is coming to Florida, right? Hurricane season comes off. There's a Cat 4 hurricane bearing down on Florida. And literally an hour or two before it hits Florida, where they say it's going to hit, it veers off. So here's my, and to sum that up is, regardless of what the situation is be prepared. Prep your foods, prep your medical supplies, get everything that you need that you think that you would need in an emergency crisis. It's that simple. And it's anybody who doesn't prepare for anything, you know, some people say, well, they just, anybody who's going to make the plan to depend on the government probably will not live long because nothing is ever free. And if they ever do set up FEMA camps and have people, hey, if you want your food, come to the FEMA camp, I think that's going to be your worst case scenario. Matter of fact, I'm reading a book right now, and they were having that discussion in this. It's a fictional book. It's in regards to an EMP, and the FEMA camps were overrun by marauders and militia and slaughtered everybody in there. So you might think you're safe there, but do you honestly think that if the government is falling apart, that they will be able to maintain these camps militarily because they're going to be spread so thin? I don't know. Just my opinion. Like I said, a lot of this is my opinion, to be honest with you. What's up, Donna? Good to see you. Yeah, and Frontier Preppers, if you ever have any questions about Cuba, Billy is a wealth of information. He will tell you what it's like living in a communist country, growing up in a communist country. Billy and over at Frontier Preppers. Really, JRC? I have to look that up. I didn't know that. Joe G says, I'm not getting on the bus. Right on, Joe. Neither would I. That would be my last alternative. And some people will fall for it because they have children and they're not prepared. They have children that are starving in their home, and FEMA's going to say, well, bring them here and we will feed you. And anybody who thinks that whole statement is, we're going to feed you for free and you're going to stay in this FEMA camp for free, is dead wrong. I don't care what anybody thinks. That's 100%. I swear from just that spidey sense per se, I would just never go that direction. I'd rather take my chances out in the world. What's up, Colleen Rich? His sweetie says, see a bus and run. Exactly. I'm more concerned about Canada than Russia right now. Empress Kimberly, you're absolutely right with them following those declarations, Trudeau. That's a nasty situation. And we've seen a lot of crazy stuff happening there already. And it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. Who knows what's going to happen? Tomorrow we could see, the Canadian military move in. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it's something there's always a possibility of things getting worse before they get better. Yeah, staying ahead is the only way to go. Exactly, Barbara. Some of these prepping channels I have seen need to stop with the Russian war fear porn. It's getting old. Yes, Brian Keith, I agree. There's YouTube is filled with war is imminent. The Russians are this and the Russia. No one can say for 100% absolutely sure that they know exactly what Putin is thinking and what his plans are. People can make assumptions all they want, but you don't want to say with absolution that that's what's going to happen. World War III is knocking at our door. Get ready, folks. We're all going to die, kind of thing. I would never want to say that to people. I would never want to scare people in that manner. My thing is here on my channel is just to say that, look, things happen, folks. Things happen from a loss of a job to, like I said, here in Florida, hurricanes. Some of you folks up north, blizzards and ice storms. Depending on where you live, things happen. And why not? Why not take the few moments or a couple of dollars out of your budget and get some extra food, get some extra blankets, buy, some extra over-the-counter medications. Just simply put, just get prepared for something. If stores run out of something, you just never know. You just never know. And in life, I just hope people start thinking beyond the next day. Think beyond that. Think, 30 days out, 60 days out, a year out. You know what I mean? Because you just never know. Never underestimate your enemy. Exactly, Redneck Prepper. Agreed. The only one who knows what Putin is going to do is Putin. Exactly, Don. And that's 100% accurate right there. That's 100% accurate. All right, here we go. We can't control what other countries do. Why live in fear over things you can't control? And Dreams Acres, I've said that many times, folks, is you want to be aware and educated of what's going around the world. You want to know what's going on in Canada, Russia, China. You want to know and you want to understand and educate yourself on what's going on and be aware of it, but don't let it consume your life. Don't let it consume your life, because you still have a life to live. You don't want to wake up every day and live your life in fear and depressed because the world sucks. You need to enjoy life as best as you can, because just if something does happen and things go south, you want to have enjoyed life as best as you can before you go through these really hard times that may be around the corner. Hopefully that makes sense, right, folks? The housing market will continue to rise, and this government trying to get us to rely on them. Yeah, for sure. Be aware, but not afraid. A Dark Knight, that's another great statement. Be aware but not afraid. And that's all it is just be aware of, you want to be aware of as much as possible so that you're as most informed as possible. And real quick before we wrap up the live stream, and that's when it comes to like stuff like communication. Someone asked me, I was reading in someone else's chat, and they said, hey, how important are communications? How important are like stuff like comms? You know, how important are radios? FRS radios, GMRS radios, ham radios, CB radios, shortwave radios. How important are they? Well, if things ever go south and there's no internet, what you're going to depend on for information is radios, either communication with other folks, news, weather, whatever that happens to still be working and functioning. You're going to depend on these radios. Specifically, and just imagine that to have a shortwave radio and to hear, okay, what's going on in this place, what's going on in that place. You know what I mean? Just having that information to know that you're not alone. You know, you're not alone when things go down. Cyber attacks on food cards could be the real thing. Don't count on the government. Exactly, Marcia. You will never fear if you prepare. Exactly. All channels that have survival food recipes, most of the stuff is bland. Really, Seal Eagle. I have to check that out. Hours on that phone. I am tired. I am beat as well. Yesterday, it was me and my wife's 10-year anniversary, and we had a wonderful time, to be honest with you. I'm trying to wind this down a little bit before we end it, but we had a wonderful time. We spent all day together. We cherished the 10. We've been together 16 years, but we've been married 10 years, and we cherished our moments together. We spent all day together, from the little things of being in the garden to watching a TV show to going out to dinner to just celebrating life with each other. It was awesome. And I cherish memories like that, because that's all you can do is build these relationships, build your memories, and love the people that you can, and hug them every day. I appreciate that, Kaylin. Alice, what's up, Pure Blood? Good to see you, my friend. Prepare for the apocalyptic spice wars. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Harvey. Appreciate that, Dragon. Michelle, Joyce. Barbara, you married on Valentine's Day too. That's awesome. I thought it was smart of myself because I knew I would never forget that day because it's a holiday. Fear has led to multiple Medal Honor recipients. Right on. Thank you, KT. Oki, Big Dog. Right on, Cindy. Thank you, Yarn. I appreciate that, Barbara. I hope you guys, and I hope when I ever do these live streams, that you do get some sort of value out of that. That's why I hope people hit the thumbs up, because that lets me know, okay, well, they like that type of content. They like that type of what we discussed in this. Like we did last, was it Thursday? Was it Thursday or last Tuesday? No, it was Thursday when we talked about herbs and spices in the kitchen and how some of them can be used medicinally. I like having conversations like this, things that we can learn stuff from. Thank you, Joe. Right on. Prepper Book Club, appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys. You guys are awesome folks, man. You guys are awesome. Oh boy. Let me see here. Do I have anything else? Do I got anything else sitting here? I don't think I do. Savage, have a great night. And other than that, let's go ahead and wrap this up, folks. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in today for the live stream. Truly appreciate that. Don't forget, Thursday, we have McBean Scottish Fitness for our guest on Thursday night on Late Night with Gray. He'll be my guest. It should be fun. And check out his channel if you haven't already, if you want to get kind of familiar with him. And thank you all for joining us on the stream. Mods, You guys know it. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. I truly appreciate everything you guys do. And everybody, please stay prepared out there. Do what you can. Don't stop. Keep it running. And please stay safe out there. And I want to say God bless to every single one of you folks out there and to your families as well. But other than that, this is GreyMan, and I'm out. I'll see you guys on the rebound.